My name is Vesta Bovair, and I'm the Managing Director at Swiss Re, responsible for our Global Business Solutions team. Global Business Solutions has 5 departments. One is what you would think of in terms of offshore centers. We have a team in Bangalore, which has about 800 people, and a team in Bratislava, Slovakia, which has almost 1,200 people. But what's important about Global Business Solutions is it's not just these 2 locations. We call them business solution locations, but it's also sourcing for the group, robotics automation, outsourcing, making sure we have all the right governance in place, and also process engineering, organizational transformation teams. Currently, I'm based in New York, which I consider to be a great benefit. As a company, Swiss Re, we believe in agile working. I lived for 4 years in Switzerland, and then my husband wanted to move home. And I asked my boss, could I take my job with me? And he said yes. I travel 50% of the time. I have teams all over the world, so in a way it doesn't matter where I'm based. And I think this is part of the future of working, is really understanding where are the global brains, what do we need them to be doing, and being a lot more flexible about how we think about organizations and where employees should be based. Within GBS, the strategy that we've used as we've grown is really flexible engagement with the business. So meeting them wherever they are, understanding their language, what is important to them, and building in a way that suits them. And now that we're very large, we represent about 15% of the headcount of the group, what we're recognizing is that since the business wants us to keep growing, that strategy perhaps won't work as well as it has in the past. We still want to build in a very flexible way, but we've recognized we need certain basic things in common across all of the teams. So the process that we're in right now is one of really educating and getting consensus around what would some of the commons be that we all should share in our business solution centers. Global Business Solutions has often measured itself with basic financial numbers, things like how much have you grown? What is your attrition rate? What's your wage arbitrage? And we measure all of those things. People are shocked to find that we have, for example, 10% attrition, which is about the same as the group. We have wage deflation because we measure in US dollars. So by all of those measures, we're doing well. Those aren't the measures that really count for us. What counts is how much value did we create for the business? So last year, for example, we put 119 million of financial improvements onto the bottom line. A lot of that came from working capital improvements. We also think about our customer touch. So last year we visited 45 different customers and helped them improve their operations. This is a way in which we're building customer relations and helping the company grow. These are incredibly important measures of the way in which Global Business Solutions adds value to an organization. Swiss Re is expanding into high growth markets, which means that in many of these countries, we are working with primary insurance companies to explain, really to educate them about state-of-the-art operations. These companies have the ability, because we're there helping them, to leapfrog ahead, not having to make all of the mistakes that we've made over the years in Europe and parts of America. Instead, we can help them by visiting them and giving them state-of-the-art operations. This really helps them grow quickly in their marketplace. At Swiss Re, what we've recognized is that as an organization, we change very quickly, and that sometimes what was excellent service really no longer resonates in the same way. We ask our business partners to trust us, to count on us, to deliver extraordinary service, to be there when it matters, and to make sure we're evolving as their clients are evolving. This is a big ask, and therefore we're finding ways constantly to stay in touch with them. It's extraordinary that it's often the softer parts of their experience that make the biggest difference. It's not the facts of how we delivered the service, it's the experience that they had, and it's the nature of the relationship that we have, which is really a key component in how they view us and how aligned they think that we are with their objectives. One of the reasons that Swiss Re has such a low attrition rate, 10% is really unheard of for most business solution centers, is that we are very global and our employees are on the phone with our clients, they're on the phone with employees all around the world. So this, being mostly a millennial team, is very mobile. It's important that we are giving them experiences in other parts of the company. So our leadership teams around the world are exposed to the talents that we have and would like us to give them a talent pipeline. Right now I'm asked for 2%, and we really try hard to give them the best. Usually that's analytics, which is in heavy demand. But what we're finding, given the changing demographics of our company, is that all kinds of skills are in demand. I was asked recently whether or not we could provide 10% of a pipeline. This is a big challenge for us given how quickly we're growing. So we're trying to find ways of, instead of giving more employees, instead doing more structured talent exchanges so we can continue to build expertise in the company in all of the locations that we are in. One of the biggest challenges that we will all face, doesn't matter what industry you're in, is changing demographics. To a certain extent, we already face these challenges as we try to communicate across country cultures, generational cultures, and then we have different modes of communication. Within Bangalore and Bratislava, 80% of our team are millennials. Now, people have different definitions of what's a millennial, a Gen X, and a baby boomer, but not getting too complicated. Our young folks do not really understand some of the attitudes that the more senior leaders have towards work. They have a hard time understanding why they're not immediately recognized, why they're not given feedback that helps them grow, and why they are expected to sit on their chair for 3 to 5 years. A tour of duty of 18 months is all that they need to move on to another job. So there's this lack of understanding, and we're having more structured or facilitated dialogues, both in our business service locations as well as in the rest of the world, helping people understand each different generation. One is not right, one is not wrong, they're different, and we all need to find ways of speaking to each other across those generational divides. Robotics process automation has been around for a long time. My teams in Bangalore and Bratislava have wondered what took us so long, and they are actively developing all sorts of different robots. They regard this as incredibly positive because all of the administrative, rules-based work that we can take off of their table means that more sophisticated work comes to them. The same is true all over the world. No one really questioned when calculators came in. Why wouldn't we want these aids to help us in our jobs? As our industry is transforming, we need people doing different kinds of work, developing new products, new distribution channels, and therefore everyone in our company needs robotics to come and help take some of that more standardized rules-based work off of their tables. We have a lot more things to do with our brains, and we're really happy to have robots with us now. Each robot that we develop, we give a name. We treat them just like they're a person. They're not scary things. We really welcome robotics process automation. At Swiss Re, we run a hybrid model. We have 2 business solution centers and 1 BPO. We've been with them for 17 years. 6 years ago, we could definitively say that that BPO team was far ahead of our captive employees in terms of the quality of their operations, the knowledge that they had of those processes. And what's happened over the 6 years is a dramatic transformation because we've really empowered our own employees. And although a BPO, absolutely many of them are far ahead when it comes to automation, different kinds of process engineering, we can't hope to be at their level. We are a very small company. But we also can't gain all of that because we insist on using our own technological suite. So this relationship that we have with our BPO is incredibly important. They teach us and we teach them. And we expect that the BPO will continue to grow and innovate in different ways. In some ways, this is a strategic decision which is made by our senior executives, determining where they want to place what kinds of intellectual capital, how they want to balance the model. At this stage, I'm still trying to figure out a way to now bring the BPO up to the level of the captives. I don't think it's acceptable that we have these kinds of differences. We need to find some balance in that relationship as well.